This tiny country is smaller than Rhode Island, but yet in just 2023, it boasted a staggering $501 billion in gross domestic product. With a population of just 5.8 million people, how has this small country managed to become one of the wealthiest countries in its region? For much of its history, Singapore was primarily under foreign control. Over time, it became home to diverse groups, but this diversity also fueled tensions. By the 1950s and 1960s, protests and riots swept across the country, plunging it into turmoil. Then in 1965, after breaking away from Malaysia, Singapore needed to start all over. And it all started with this guy, Lee Kuan Yew, the Prime Minister of Singapore. He realized Singapore had a problem. The country had almost no natural resources, so to generate export capital, he prioritized industrialization, transforming the country into a manufacturing hub. You see, Singapore had an advantage: its location. To the right was the South China Sea, to the left the Strait of Malacca, and at the bottom of the Indian Ocean it was perfectly situated for international trade. Low tariffs and a rapidly expanding shipyard industry made Singapore an attractive global trading hub. By the early 1980s, it had become a manufacturing powerhouse, and at one point, the world's leading producer of hard disk drives. However, further competition in neighboring countries had forced the nation to rethink its economic strategy. The real game changer? Finance. Lee prevented the internationalization of Singapore dollar, restricting the activities of foreign banks. At the same time, he successfully appealed to international firms who searched for an opportunity to settle in Singapore. The regulatory incentives, and with corporate tax rates as low as 17%, provided the ideal environment for the Singapore financial industry to grow. Singapore was now the Asian Switzerland, a financial safe haven due to its strict banking secrecy laws, stable government, and corruption-free policies. Big banks, insurance providers, and consultancy firms felt comfortable in long-term investments and quickly set up regional headquarters in the country. In 1971, after the U.S. abandoned the gold standard, Lee seized the opportunity to establish Singapore as a regional hub for foreign exchange. Under his successor, Goh Chok Tong, Singapore continued its pro-business policies. In 2004, Lee Hsien Loong saw that for Singapore to keep thriving in business, it needed to be a place where people actually wanted to live. The country invested heavily in entertainment. It welcomed casinos, luxury hotels, and entertainment venues. Additionally, the government enhanced green spaces, improved public transportation, and promoted a vibrant arts. The timing was perfect, as China's and India's economies were skyrocketing, and it brought an influx of wealth to the region. Singapore became a place for the wealthy to come and enjoy. At the same time, Singapore's education system focused on creativity and innovation, producing a highly skilled workforce. It continues to be recognized as one of the best education systems in the world. These economic strategies have helped Singapore become one of the wealthiest nations, with an average GDP per capita of nearly $84,000. Although Singapore has grown into a wealthy nation, it still faces significant challenges. With 40% of its workforce made up of foreign workers, the country grapples with demographic shifts, geopolitical pressures, increasing global competition, and an aging population. Singapore's transformation is nothing short of remarkable, from a struggling post-colonial state to one of the world's most prosperous nations. It wasn't inevitable. It was built by vision, hard work, and resilience.